Hello Dave is brought to you ad-free by my supporters on Patreon. Become a Patreon yourself and get your name listed as a supporter at the end of every video by following the link in the video description.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Hello Dave with Down to Earth Astronomy. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Let's see what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the 3.3 launch of Elite and the server issues. We're going to talk about the rapid development on X4. The Russians have been cutting up their own spacecraft with a knife in space. Usually we do some new stories, which is, well, interesting. I have an open live stream tomorrow, which you're free to join. And of course, we're also going to do the announcements of the last week's giveaway winner. And I'm also going to give you guys the link for this week's giveaway. But let's get started, and let's start by having a look at the 3.3 launch in Elite. It comes to no surprise to any of you that was it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. The 3.3 patch was launched onto the live servers and also console. And with that followed a lot of server issues. Disconnects, unable to connect at all. And of course, this is not uncommon. We've seen these at launch days before. But the reason why it is so interesting this time is because this has been going on for way longer than last time. I mean, I can't remember last time we've seen second day issues, like the day after, where it would still be a problem. It has come down now. I mean, it was at a point I think on launch day actually. I tried to do some recording for a video, and I just had to give up at the end. I had planned to get the Robigo mission video out on Wednesday, but it was just impossible for me to record on Tuesday because I couldn't get any amount of continuous recording without getting disconnects, and it would just have made a fragmented video. So I decided to just go ahead and push that to a later time spot. But also console users, even now this week, the past weekend here, I've heard people say that they still have issues with getting disconnects, and I actually got a single disconnect during the weekend here. So it's definitely a lot better than it was. But I have a very, very sneaky suspicion that this is not due to player numbers. It might have been on launch day. That was most likely due to player numbers. Or just the sheer number of players trying to log in at least at the same time. But the fact that it has persisted for so long as it has tells me that this is most likely something to do with the new dedicated mission server. Why that would have anything to do with logins, I assume maybe when you log in, you get allocated to a specific mission instance or something like that. I don't know. But I have a suspicion that that is what is causing it. Because, of course, they have offloaded the whole mission board generation to a separate server. So I have a suspicion that that is what's going on here. So now let's move on and let's have a quick look at X4. Now this game has been out for just over 2 weeks now. And they just announced the first content update, which is going to be patch 1.5. I'm like, 1.5 already? And I was really like, well, you're doing a content update now already? That was really, really quick. I wasn't expecting them to do anything like that. Maybe sometime Q1 or Q2, but they're doing one before Christmas. And we're also getting a content update in January or maybe early February, depending on how long time it takes. And the 1.5 update, which they say we'll get before Christmas, is, you could argue if it's a bug fix, but they have done a lot to try and help players in the early games. The developers have been watching when people were starting, so they've been watching live streams and videos and stuff like that, and noticed that a lot of players would go to the NPCs for missions in the early game. And I did the exact same thing when I started. I found the nearest NPC and asked them, what do I need to do? Where do I need to go? But all you could ask them for was where to get access to some Federation rank thing, and that didn't really, no one would really tell me anything about it. So I was really like, I don't know where to go. So what they're doing now is that they are giving NPCs the ability to also hand out missions, or at least point you in the right direction. where they could also pull information from the NPCs about where to get to various wharfs, shipyards, and missions, all that kind of stuff. So the NPCs are now kind of your will be more your kind of like tour guides. They'll be more helpful towards giving you pointers to where to go and what you need to do. And in the January/early February update, they talked about they were going to do some player-owned shipyards. This is apparently some of the largest stations. The developers said they were really impressed with the speed at which people have progressed through the game. So it sounds like player-owned shipyards was something they were going to do, but since this is pretty much one of the largest possible stations you can apparently build, they didn't thought anyone would get to that point in the game, or a large number of players would get to that point in the game very quickly. But players did, so now they're introducing this in January, February, where you can now build your own like ship manufacturing plant and build your own ships and sell those on the market for hopefully a ton of profit. And there are several things here that I find really interesting. That is, first of all, the rapid speed at which they're developing this. That's impressive, maybe a little worrying. I hope that they're going to have the time. I mean, with that timetable, there cannot be a lot of time for testing, which can be a little worrying. But I mean, if they can get it out in a decent state, then I am definitely not going to complain about that. But also the fact that how much they have listened to the community. I mean, it sounds like pretty much most of the stuff they're going to add in the 1.5 patch is stuff where people said, hey, we want this. There were also some people who've requested, apparently in one of the earlier X games, there was a specific way you would, like the mouse controls that apparently changed through the different games, the way it works. So that I think instead of it being an absolute position of the mouse that determines whether you turn or move the mouse to the right, the ship would continue to move right. I think some of the games, maybe as long as you move the mouse the ship would turn to the right, and if you stop moving the mouse, the ship will begin to go straight again. I think that's the difference. But some people have requested, hey guys, can you introduce that kind of mouse control again, because they apparently really like it from a previous game. And the developer said, sure, we didn't know you guys like that, but if you want, sure, we can implement that. And now they're doing that as well. So really nice by Ecosoft to see a company that listens in such a degree to their player base and is able to push out updates so quickly. And again, I haven't been able to play it much over the weekends because 3.3 and getting videos ready for that. But I'm definitely planning to put some more hours into this. I'm considering how much like videos I'm going to do with it. I'm just going to stream it. Because again, I really like to do these tutorials or guide type of videos, but I'm not that knowledgeable about the game yet. So here in the beginning, you will probably see most of my X4 content being live streams as I learn the game. And then as I get more and more into the game, hopefully I'll be able to push out more and more guides and tutorials. But that's enough about X4. Let's quickly move on. Let's talk about the Russians and the Soyuz space capsule, which that they currently have docked at the International Space Station. You might recall a couple of weeks back, or some months back now, a hole was discovered in the side of one of the Soyuz spacecrafts. First, people thought it was a micrometeor strike, so like a tiny meteor that was punched the hole. When the hole was then located, it was then obvious that this was a hole made by tools, most likely on the ground. And they were then started an investigation, and they were then planning to have a spacewalk, but then of course there was the whole problem with the launch. They had to send people back. They didn't manage to get up there, but they have had here the past week had that spacewalk, and basically what they did was they went outside on a spacewalk, got up to the Soyuz capsule, and they got out a big old knife and began cutting it up, and a big old pair of pliers, and began cutting up the spacecraft until they could find the hole. So the Soyuz capsule is divided into two main sections. There's the orbit module, and then there's the descent module. The orbit module is the one they will ditch after they don't let the orbit burn. They will ditch that module, then they will fall back to the ground. In the return module, the orbit module will then burn up. But both modules are covered in these thick, blankets, kind of isolation thing, and there are different layers for various kind of protection. But Point being, it's basically covered in this huge, thick, isolating blanket, and that was just, took the knife and then just began cutting that away. So they cut like a hole about that size, the side of the thermal protection layer. And after that, they then took pliers and began cutting open the outer aluminium hull until they got into the inner hull, where they could then finally manage to see the repair of where it was done with some black substance. Not exactly sure what it is, but someone has clearly tried to repair that, didn't do a good enough job, and they've now taken samples of it to try and figure out what it is. I mean, that kind of seems like there must be someone who knows what that is. There must be someone sitting somewhere like being really, really nervous right now, because, I mean, you don't do a repair like that and then think, I mean, you would, I mean, this is obviously not like an everyday thing, not something they do every day, do these kind of repairs. I would assume at least, otherwise they would probably have known what that black substance was. So there must be someone sitting out there who did that repair being really, really nervous right now. Really hoping that they don't figure out what it is, because I'm pretty sure there will be repercussions. But anyway, the hole was in the orbit module, so even though they've cut away a large section of their thermal blanket, it's okay, that module's going to burn up anyway. It might just burn up a little bit quicker. So anyway, that was the whole issue with that. Now, of course, I'll try to keep an eye on their story when we get some information about what it actually is that they got. So yeah, keep an eye on that. YouTube has introduced stories. It's pretty much the same as you would get on like Snapchat or Instagram or whatever social media. Basically, it's like very short, either pictures or videos that you can use. I've been trying to use them here over the last week or so. And if you go to your subscription page, I believe you can like click on my icon if there's like a circle around it saying there's an unread story. I've been trying to use them as kind of a behind the scenes kind of thing, but again, the format is really weird because the video is very, very short, so it's difficult to do any kind of like serious. You can't do much, and it has to be split up to several stories. But anyway, I've been trying to use it, and some of you guys have seen them. I asked you guys in one of the first stories I did if you would drop a comment if you actually see this. A few of you guys did, so at least some people are watching the stories. I'll try to use those as kind of a behind the scenes kind of thing. Just before recording this, I did a few when I was doing some server maintenance on my NAS. I had a failed drive, so I need to replace that with a new hard drive, and that has been done. But anyway, go and have a look so you can find those, and let me know if you find that kind of stuff interesting. At least it's an easy way for me to do behind the scenes kind of stuff. Tomorrow, of course, I have my usual live stream, which is at 8 o'clock in-game time. And tomorrow we're going to go out, and I say we because you have the chance to join if you want to. We're going to go out and have a look at the new conflict zones. They have changed the whole way conflict zones work now. Previously it was basically just an instance with ships that would spawn in, and then you killed them, you collected bounty vouchers, or combat vouchers, or whatever they're called, fly back and hand those in. And there's now like a wave system and some kind of point score or like tug of war bars or something like that to indicate if you're winning or losing that specific instance. And I thought it would be interesting to go out and have a look at that. I know there's been a lot of bug reports on this, like people getting notoriety even though they're in wings, and all kinds of weird bugs. So there is a chance this is going to be a complete bug fest. I don't know. But at least tomorrow at 8 o'clock, we're going to head out and we're going to start from Martin Gateway in LP, which is the player faction's home system. So if you want to join, what you have to do is you go out, or have to find the link for Discord in the description below. Over there in the news channel, I've posted, or I will post an update about it, where you can see system names, times, and stations. And we're going to get as many people in as we can. And then we're going to go out and we're going to try out these conflict zones. We're probably going to fight some war in nearby systems, head up to those, try it out for a couple of hours, see what it's all about. And that's probably then gonna be it. I hope it's going to be pretty fun. I know they've done different tiers of conflict zones, I think. So they have low, medium, high. It could be fun to see how difficult the high ones are. I think I read somewhere in a comment on some forum post somewhere that the high ones are quite difficult. So we'll have a look at that. So if you want to join, you're more than welcome to. The reason why I want to pull people over on Discord is because doing the live stream, I need everybody who participates to be on in one of the voice chats. You don't have to actually speak. You don't need to have a microphone. So if you don't like to have your own voice on a live stream, that's okay. I understand some people don't like that. But at least I need you to be able to listen in, because we're going to be relaying orders. We're going to coordinate over Discord during the live stream, and there's a 15-second delay on the stream. So that means you will get everything 15-second delayed. So if you want to be able to keep up to date, you need to be able to at least listen in on the voice comms on Discord. And the final topic is, of course, the giveaway. The first week of 4 has now concluded, and the winner has been drawn. And the winner is Faris from Bosnia-Herzegovina. I've already sent you an email if you watch this video, and the email was sent yesterday. So from yesterday, you have 48 hours to reply. That means you still have about a day. I've also drawn 2 other winners. Again, these are backups in case that he does not get back to me. I'll go on to the second one on the list. But at least first week's winner has been drawn. But as again, first week means there are more to come. And in the description, you will also find a link to the Gleam page with this week's giveaway. And this week I am also giving away a Logitech mouse. And this time we're moving up to a Logitech Pro wired gaming mouse. Style-wise, it's a fairly minimalistic mouse. It has what you need, back and forth mouse buttons. So not a whole lot of buttons on the mouse. But it's a 12,000 DPI mouse, and of course it has RGB, so it must be way better than non-RGB mouse, obviously. Way faster, way more accurate, because that's how RGB works. Anyway, that giveaway is in the description. You can go ahead, you can sign up for that, and if you didn't win the first week, then you have a chance, or even if you won the first week, you still have a chance to win second week as well. So sign up for that, and as always, this giveaway will run a week, and on Sunday I will draw the next week's winners, and then Monday, next Hello Dave, I will give you the link for the next giveaway. So tune in for that in about a week's time. But anyway, that is gonna be it for today. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a like down below. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I'll see you guys in space.